Hi everyone, Stacey Adelman here, and I'm a registered psychologist and owner at Joshua Tree Learning Center. And I'm with you today on Tuesdays at 12. My apologies again, it's 12:30. However, life has pulled me away a little bit, but I still wanted to jump online today and have a quick conversation with you. And I really thought today our discussion could really center around technology. Again, this is another hot button or a hot topic that I find we talk a lot about, both in our office, in terms of mental wellness for our kids. And as a parent, I've got three teenage girls, and I know this has certainly been a topic of conversation in our home. And so I really wanted to talk today a little bit about technology and how do we navigate this world with technology, and how do we do this the right way with our kids. So again, as a parent, this is something I'm always looking for answers and some guidance with as well. So back in the fall, I had a really great conversation with an individual who has a company by the name of the White Hatter. And this is a law enforcement officer out of BC, Canada. And he formed his own company called the White Hatter. He was in charge in his career with internet safety and all kinds of things regarded to technology and the internet, and really helping youth and adults, for that matter, navigate that world. He did a lot of work with internet crimes and so on. And so, yeah, I had a great conversation with him. We had a parent presentation. I thought, it'd just be neat to, again, revisit that a little bit and talk about some of the key takeaways and things that really resonated with me. I really liked the approach. If you're looking for some nice resources as a parent, I would really recommend the White Hatter. They are on, I believe they have a YouTube channel. They're on Facebook, probably on Instagram. I'm not as sure about that, but they have a really pretty good online presence guiding parents. They have, as well as a podcast that I think could be really helpful for parents. So, what I really appreciated with this was kind of the connection to parenting and the focus on maintaining a really good connection with your kids and navigating the technological world together. And it kind of took it a different approach from the idea that I have to monitor or discipline or be really punitive in that approach, but rather trying to work at it as a bit of a team. Now, when it comes to monitoring our kids on technology, um, I think the rule of thumb that he was really talking about in this presentation was anyone under the age of 12 really should be monitored, right? So there is still um, a place for monitoring our kids and their tech use for sure. That's not to throw that out the window. We definitely do need to monitor our kids to some extent, as well as if some of our kids have been gotten into trouble on the internet, or they might be unsafe in some regard due to something that's happened. That definitely needs to be monitored. We do need to keep a very, very close eye on that. However, overall, it was really interesting to me, and I guess I felt better as a parent. It's really tough, I find, for parents to stay on top of the monitoring. There's just so much that is really new to parents that I think that can just be quite a cumbersome task. And what was interesting when with the White Hatter we were talking about was that I think eventually it's going to become more and more difficult to monitor. Base technology is just evolving so incredibly fast that it's going to become more and more difficult to monitor and kind of keep up with our kids. So, what does that mean for us as parents? It sounds very, very frightening. However, if we come back to the concept of really building strong connections with our kids and allowing ourselves to navigate this world together, it keeps us as part of that world, and it lets them, we can go through it together. But if we don't have a good connection, connection with our kids, that is the area of technology then is an area where they can really kind of stray from us and kind of create this own little world on the side that we know nothing about. So it's very, very, very important as parents that we stay connected, emotionally connected to our kids. So how do we do that with technology? Well, go into their world, go to where they're at. Okay, so if you've got a little one who's really into video games, for example, have them show you what they're playing, have them teach you, talk about it with them, get involved, play the games with them, and then you can decide and talk about it together whether or not this is something you think you want them to continue being a part of. Right? Same thing maybe with our older kids when we look at technology in terms of social media. Um, the social media channels that are out there are just staggering, right? There are so many, and I think there's so many we still don't really know about. And by having a connection with our kids, we show them that we're really interested in their world and want to be a part of that, and we let them guide us as much as we are guiding them, right? So we want to stay connected and keep having these really nice open conversations about that. The other thing we want to do is, and this was really key for me as a parent, that I learned is that, as in my day growing up in the 80s and the 90s, I can clearly remember a world before technology and a world after technology, right? And so it's very easy as parents for us to say, well, back in my day, we were outside riding bikes and we were doing all of these things. But the reality is for our kids, their upbringing has been very, very different. They don't really have a concept of the online world and the not online world. It's all together, right? They've never known a world without technology. So right away, when we come at them from that approach, there's a disconnect, right? We need to acknowledge that their life with technology is quite different than ours was and is. And so, what we need to do is kind of approach their safety online in the same way that we might approach teaching them how to be safe in their communities, teaching them how to be safe when they go with friends to the pool or to the mall, or how do we teach them how to be safe in those environments so that they feel a sense of competency over their world, right? And when they have a sense of competency, they have a sense of, I can handle this. I know how to take care of myself in these situations. Um, Anxiety comes down, right? And they develop a sense of knowing and learning how to navigate their world. And that's what we essentially want to teach them. So, how can we as parents even start to reframe a little bit our children's experiences on technology? Is technology really this, this big, bad, evil, kind of terrible thing that's preventing my kids from going outside? Or can we start to look at it in another way? Is there a way that it could be really, really helpful? So, for example, could we be working with some of our athletes and teach them about, okay, you're posting on social media, and this is how you can use it as kind of how you would use a business page, right? How are you branding yourself? Potential scholarship opportunities may come from how you're putting yourself out there on social media. So, how can we do this in a really positive way, right? Our kids are really doing some really cool stuff on technology. So shutting it down completely, I don't know is the right answer, but really teaching them how to use it in a positive, beneficial way, both for themselves and for others. Right? So I really, liked that approach, is the idea of fostering, that emotional connection. How can we go into their world and learn a lot more about technology? And, how can we teach them to be safe, develop competence over their environment, and help them navigate this world according to their values and what's important to them? So I think it was just a really good conversation. I would really encourage you as parents to check out The White Hatter some really nice resources on that page that I felt uh, were super helpful in that it didn't all rely on closely monitoring and kind of staying on top of our kids. Again, to reiterate, I think it's important to monitor our kids. We have a duty to protect them and make sure they're safe. So for sure, there may need to be an element to that. But I think this dug a little bit deeper and talked more about, okay, how can we look at this in a little bit of a different way as a parent, to help our kids and ourselves grow through this time. It's hard being a parent with all the tech and available to us and available to them, and we as parents have so much to learn. I don't know about you, but it takes me 2 or 3 times longer than it takes my kids to learn some of these things. And so when we can go about it in kind of a collaborative way, I just think it helps everybody, but more importantly, it maintains the connection that we have with our kids. Again, check out the White Hatter. If you have other questions, please feel free to send them our way. I'm happy to try and answer questions that you have. Tuesdays at 12. I guess I should say Tuesdays between 12 and 12:30. I do my best to be here at 12, but sometimes life just pulls me away. But Tuesdays at noon, I will be on live on Facebook, and look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care, everyone, on this beautiful spring day. The sunshine and the heat is coming. Hang in there. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.